Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Beretta 9mm USA here, and this is going to be our review of the Tracker Safe M45 gun safe. This is a new safe to us. We think it's an aggressive price on a safe, and we want to go over that safe with you. This is just the way that we have the safe set up for video purposes to give you an idea of how massive the safe is. There is a large handful of guns, revolvers, semi-autos, ARs in here, plus a bunch of pistols, semi-automatic pistols for the most part, on the door itself. We want to give you an idea of how massive this safe is and how much of a collection it can hold. Young Beretta and I have looked a lot at safes lately, and this safe represents a tremendous value.
This is a common configuration, your top shelf. These have steel reinforced front and back, so you can put some good weight on there. If you ever put like tremendous weight on there, I encourage you to cut I like a round piece of PVC pipe, because I don't want to take up a bunch of room and I like it to be round. And I'll cut it at the height to create a brace.
Okay.
Like if I was putting a ton of weight up there.
Gotcha.
And your smaller bays and shelves are down below when you get your safe.
Okay.
These anchors here are actually for more of a wood floor operation.
Oh, okay.
So you'll want to just keep those and toss them aside. It is always a good idea in the Northwest, or any safe really, to have some kind of silicate or a heating rod in there to keep humidity and moisture off your weapons and toys and stuff. There's your little plug-in, which is pretty cool.
Okay.
It's kind of a standard computer cable. This guy here, standard 3-prong, you put that in there.
Okay.
Neat thing is you can leave it plugged in year-round. Once you get your lighting situated and your dehumidifier rod, which I'll pick that up. I recommend doing that. Now let's get your handles on.
Okay.
A little care package over here. This is your safe's owner's manual. You want to keep this separate. Do not lock it in the safe.
Okay.
Put this somewhere else. This has your combination inside. The combination's been set at the factory. You could have the combination changed by us. It's a service fee. We come out and we do it. You could have a locksmith do it. They'll charge you more. If you want to do it yourself, you can get instructions for us, but you'll void the warranty on the lock. The reason we do that is it's kind of involved, and if the lock was set wrong, then nobody can get in, right? So there's no fun. But there's the manual there. Don't pop that open because it does have your combination in it.
Okay.
These are your handles. These are cool. These will just screw in. We'll pull them all out and put them in for you. And then I'll go over the lock, how it works and operates. Okay. I have what I think is a simple formula to remember how to work these. These are the guard group 1 locks, and all that fancy business means is that they operate a certain way. The old school lockers used to, you turn to the right, Right. These ones turn to the left first, and it'll be 4 turns, 3 turns, 2 turns, 1.
Okay.
And it's funny, we all instinctively come up to a safe and spin it to the right. You'll have to break that. Yeah. Let's here for a moment. Get these on here. Okay. Makes it a lot easier. These, sometimes I've done this before, I put plumber tape around these just to make them tighter. Because you do want to be able to pull them out. But because when you grab them, they are threaded, so they can just come loose basically.
Gotcha.
Inside this, it's pretty cool. There's a cotter pin that holds this in place down here. So if your knob ever started getting loose, it'd be that cotter pin. Okay. But that is actually designed to break away if somebody puts a torsion bar on here and tries to snap open the mechanism.
Right.
Plus internally it has defaults for that too, which is pretty cool. This safe has a relocker pin inside here, so if somebody hit this direct point with a sledgehammer, tried to blow this off the foundation or cut through it, there's a relocker that fires and locks the whole bolt shut. In the case of that, you would have to drill, but then again, your safe did its job and protected its contents, right?
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. Most bad guys don't attack safes from the front anymore. They pretty much attack them from the sides and back. So,
got it.
Yeah, real professional. Well, you've got yours nicely tucked in, so it's kind of a pain for the bad guy, right? So the neat thing about this lock, this is what's in the neutral position right now. So it will open and close all day. So if you're doing stuff, you could just put it like this, go do whatever you need to do, come back, put your guns away and things like that, or firearms or paperwork, family stuff. When it's time to lock this safe, you have to turn your handle to the left, and you have to spin your dial to the left. This engages the tumblers, or disengages the tumblers, and now this safe is locked.
Okay.
Always, 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 always back check your safe. Never trust that the safe is locked by just closing this and spinning this.
Right.
Because
check it.
It might not be.
Okay.
So always check, always check. You could have something in the way of the bolts or thought it was locked or anything like that. Whenever you're doing any kind of maintenance or testing on your safe, always do it with the door open.
Yeah.
Just because if there's something that goes wrong, or you, oh man, my lock's working weird or whatever, having it locked open is significantly better than having it locked shut, right? Because there's a lot of troubleshooting to do. This is the changing index. You can completely ignore that. This is the actual combination index. This is the one you will reference for your combination. So real quick here, I'm going to look at your combination.
Okay.
It hit the shaft. There's a bunch of cams inside with these weird springs, and it'll make the shaft move and basically unalign everything. So now the safe can't be opened that way. If somebody was to drill through this and bust off, there's a back plate. The bar, there's a little steel bolt basically that comes down. That's what holds the whole mechanism in place, which is pretty cool, the rest of your safe. It has a spring with a ball bearing. If the back ever flies off, this little spring pops out and tells the ball bearing cannot move, and now it won't unlock either.
Gotcha.
On top of that, if it did bust that plate off, it's connected to a plate with a big relocker pin. So if anybody messes with this, it's rough for them.
So what kind of warranty does Tracker Safe have?
This safe right here has a 3 years parts and manufacturer warranty. The lock only has a year. That's standard in the industry. The lock, rarely an issue, especially on a dial.
Yeah.
And that means any kind of defect or weirdness or something going on, you just call us. Go, hey, I don't know why my safe isn't locking or working or whatever, and we work with you.
Okay.
It has a limited lifetime fire and theft warranty, and what that's going to be is we'll cover the safe, but it's going to be working alongside your homeowner's insurance, and you have to file proper police reports or fire reports or whatever the reports are and turn them all together. If you do all that due diligence, we're going to get you a new safe. That's pretty sweet. That's a nice thing. And you do have to warranty it. You have to. We have a little warranty sheet. You go online. We cover customers. I mean, if you don't, it just takes us longer to find your paperwork.
Right.
And then we can do the process.
Okay.
And that's important on our safes. Basically, any warranty, if you wanted your wife or somebody else on that safe, make sure their name's on the warranty.
Okay.
Because if, let's say just your wife is on there and you call in, I'd be like, hey, that's great, Rick. As soon as she calls in, we'll help you.
Right.
Okay.
Which is good.
It's called chain of custody of the safe.
It's smart.
So.
Very smart.
Yeah.
So you wanted to talk about the door.
So this is an 11 gauge steel safe. It's 11 gauge all the way around. The door frame does come around and wrap around right here. So your 11 gauge steel stops right there. There are door shims that allow you to tighten up the bolts even tighter to the frame. A lot of safes, their worst enemy is brute force attack. So guys are going to try to pry on here and pry away the frame and stuff. 11 gauge is a pretty good steel gauge for stopping. You know, just don't have tools in your garage that could help. You know, if you have angle grinders and cutoff saws, well, you know, they're going to get to it. But if they have sledgehammers and crowbars, they're going to be working on this safe forever.
Yeah.
Internally, this is called a laminate door, which means this is 11 gauge body right here. Inside here is actually fireboard. Not all of it. There's steel here, fireboard. Then there's steel that holds the guts together, all this. There's a plate that goes across. Then this compartment is basically hollow except for all your bolts. Right through here where the main shaft goes, on this particular model, there's like a bicycle type sprocket where when you turn the handle, all those little teeth grab and it makes all the plates move. And that's what moves all that stuff. That's a really neat mechanism because drills and attacks and all kinds of crazy stuff, they're just making their life worse because they're messing up the internal mechanism that makes the whole thing operate.
Right.
There's not an easy way to get through. These do have top bolts, side bolts, bottom bolts, and then your back bolts are called stationary bolts. If you look back here,
So they don't move.
they don't move, but they're just welded in place, but they go behind the door frame. Like I said, brute force attack is the safe's worst enemy. So if somebody was to try to cut the hinges and think they were going to be wily and drop your door, they just made it worse for themselves. The cool thing too about have top and bottom locking bolts is that is commonly the favorite place for people to pry.
Yeah.
There's too much tension and too much area here where they'll try to slip a crowbar in there. You'd want a 25-pound breaker bar and more to mess with a safe like this, and it's going to take a lot of work. This safe is bolted down. All safe's worst enemy is being thrown on its back.
Yeah.
Because then people can get leverage. Like me and you could jump up and down on a 25-pound bar and start to compromise pretty much any safe that isn't like plate steel. You do have multiple layers of firewall all the way around. That's what gives you your fire protection. This power source is neat because it gives you 3 regular plugins plus 2 USBs. The plugins are kind of cool because you could put in a light, a dehumidifier, and have one thing to charge something or do something like that.
Yeah.
Nice.
The USBs are really popular these days. A lot of radios, thermal optics, iPads, things like that. You could have charging in your safe and be ready for you when you come home or whenever you want to use them, which is really nice. The door organizers are pretty straightforward. These are pretty rugged and tough. These will actually hold a full-size frame pistol pretty well. People are always skeptical of the Velcro, but the interesting thing is your weapon actually creates its own like friction against it. Because if I pull like this, yes, right?
Yeah.
But when the weapon's against us, all the weight is continue against the Velcro.
Right.
We never recommend your safe being your run-to home security, but you might want something handy if it was important.
Right.
And I know a lot of patrol officers and people who do gun-related jobs that just want access like that. They don't want to dig through their main chambers. They just want to grab their piece every day, their operational equipment. So pretty neat. These bays are designed so you can use all 3 bays. That's pretty cool. What I like about this safe, a lot of our safes actually have a fixed height on these, but these you can put in at any height.
That's cool.
So your guys with carbines and pistols and long goose guns and stuff, this pass-through hole is really neat. So if you have your long shotguns or you know, your gear that's wired out to shoot far away, you know, your sniper rifles and things like that, or hunting rifles, you've got that long access. And another neat configuration, which a lot of people will do, is they can do this, which is kind of fun if you're a pistol guy. You could put one shelf at this height, right? And then you could have this slightly above it. So basically, you could set yourself up a nice little pistol corral, if you will.
Oh yeah.
See what I mean? I could park my pistols nose up or however, which is kind of neat if you're a pistol guy and you want that extra room. Or if you were doing carbines, like throw 2 ammo cans down here, throw this on there, but for your M4 and shotgun and crazy short weapon platforms, you can throw them all on that side. So.
Yeah.
A lot of options, pretty neat. We give you plenty of shelves, so you can do all kinds of stuff with that. These shelves are rated at 25 pounds a piece, but they can hold significantly more. Just always watch what you're doing with your safe. Don't overburden your shelf. This particular shelf can hold a lot of weight because it has the 2 steel tracks and it's actually supported by the lower.
Oh, nice.
I mean, you could put something up there if you wanted to. So, some people, if they're not using this hole, they'll just commonly just throw a shelf over it.
Right. And then it turns it into more usable
just
space.
whatever, yeah.
I noticed this too. These are actually cut into
the
board
they're
that's on top.
They don't
So they're
slide around.
indexing.
Yeah,
So they don't slide around. It gives it even more security right there.
So that's pretty nice.
Nice.
And then the main things you want to do to your safe, if you hear something squeak or something weird or whatever, don't ignore that. It's not always called warranty information. Just see why it's doing it. Most common issue on any safe is not proper lubrication. If you come up to your safe one day, you're like, man, it's really hard to turn right now. Most likely, these are not greased up properly.
Okay.
Now I like just a regular gun oil, and I don't. There's Vaseline from the factory. I don't care for that. I usually wipe it off and I'll put some nice gun oil on, and just make sure, you know, every once in a while.
That you do
Just
that.
easy maintenance. You can wipe these down. Actually, my favorite thing to clean these off with is Windex. Straight up Windex.
Talking about the exterior of the safe.
Yeah. And just use a soft cloth. This is a pretty durable finish.
Because this is this painted?
No, this is powder coat.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks very much, Sean. I appreciate
Thanks,
it.
guys.
So guys, the M45 comes with a gray carpeted interior. It's a little bit lighter than a lot of safes, and so I think it's a little brighter on the inside when it's well lit. The lighting package I installed myself was
And that was only like $35 total. So it was a good price as far as the lighting stuff that we put in here.
It does take a little bit of time, but it's set up on a timer, and it also has a motion sensor to it that you hooked up. So that works out great. Whenever you open up the safe, the light automatically comes on. The M45 does come with a bunch of adjustable shelving heights and placements. So a bunch of the shelves right now are under the middle section of AR-15s right there. I just haven't put them in yet. I wanted to stick some more rifles in here at this point. Just for this part of the video, it doesn't make any sense to me to have them all in rifle holding sections when you can't see what the rifles are.
So most likely how you're going to set it up is you're going to have pistols here, pistols there, and then you're going to move all the rifles, my guess, is over to the left.
If I can do that, I will. If not, it'll be 2 sections of rifles and then 1 big section of pistols. These shelves up on top are rather large, and I think they'll put a lot of pistols up there. So lots of space in this safe for sure. So the dimensions on the safe is 72 inches high, 42 inches wide, and 28.5 inches deep. As you can tell by the pistols that are lined up with the AR and the Shockwave in the back, the safe is pretty damn deep. It'll hold a lot of stuff that you want to put in it. So the M45 tracker safe comes with 16 bolts overall. You have 7 right here on this part of the door. They're 1 1/4 inches. And then on the other side of the door, you have 5 that are fixed in place. So these lock up against the inside of the safe here.
So they're deadbolts. They're welded in place.
There's 2 bolts up on top of the door,
And 2 on the bottom.
which goes into the safe's body, making this door very secure. One thing of concern for some folks on these large safes is that the safe has exterior hinges on it. If you have all those bolts locking this door in place, you could blast off these hinges. It doesn't make any difference. There's no one that can get into the safe. The door is secure. A benefit to the exterior hinges is your door opens wider. So some folks like that. So the M45 comes in at 1,000 pounds. The safe itself weighs 1,000 pounds before you put all of your items inside the safe, which obviously if you pack ammo in your safe too, the safe will be extremely heavier than that. It does have a full organizer panel here on the inside of the door, which has 8 pistol pockets for it. Also got places for magazines right here and down here. And then you have several pockets for whatever else you may want to use these for. You could put documents and such in the lower pockets if you wanted. I wish I had more pistol pouches, but maybe you can change that later. But as you can tell, it can hold everything from a full-size 4.5 inch XDM pistol to a 4-inch XD40. Here's a Glock 22 over here. And then I've got all my smaller pistols up here. I did that so I would know where the smaller guns were at. So it's a Glock 26, a Glock 43, a Smith & Wesson 340 M&P, and here's the little Ruger. So
That's actually the Glock 42, but yeah.
okay. But yeah, I kind of like the way that's set up. And we just threw this together real quick because we wanted it to be shown with guns in it. I find it more interesting when I watch safe reviews and you actually get to see some of the stuff inside the safe. So that's why we set it up that way. The safe comes with a fire rating of 60 minutes at 1200 degrees. With the safe door closed, the door seals in case of fire all the way around it. The heat activates an expanding polysol around the door frame itself, sealing the heat out and keeping the interior much cooler.
And not letting any smoke or anything like that inside the safe.
So guys, Tracker Safe just opened up a second location in Seattle, Washington, and they will ship and make arrangements to ship you a safe throughout the continental United States. So if you're interested in that, make sure you check out their website at trackersafe.com. This particular safe goes for $23.49 and it's on sale for $2,049 currently as of the end of August 2017. Prices are always subject to change, but I think that's a killer deal on a safe of this size using 11 gauge steel all the way around. If you're interested in purchasing a Tracker safe but are not local to their store locations over here in the Pacific Northwest, Tracker has many dealers in the US that stock their products. You can also buy one of their products from Amazon.com for a curbside delivery. So the bottom line is, wherever you are in the US, you can get a Tracker safe. As far as quality, size, and security, it's pretty hard to beat this Tracker safe for what it sells for. We think it represents a tremendous value. And it's dang sure big enough. Alright guys, do remember if you live in the Portland metro area or the Vancouver, Washington area, the Tracker Safes has a showroom location in Vancouver, Washington. So you could stop by and check out their selection of safes at their location and get special showroom prices. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and if you're interested in this safe or anything else available at Tracker Safe, go ahead and check out their products and website, trackersafe.com, via the links in the description box below this video. As always guys, thanks for watching the video. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel here on YouTube, Beretta 9mm USA, for more guns and gear videos coming up in the future.